There are lots of ways to make money with Magic the Gathering. Lots of ways to make money buying cards, buying collections at 70% and selling them for market value. You could buy bulk and sell bulk. You can buy sealed boxes and sell the cards inside, open them up. You can buy commander decks and open them up and sell the cards inside. You can buy collector booster boxes and hold on to them for 6 months, sell those. You can buy collector booster boxes and hold them for 10 years and sell those. You can buy play booster boxes and hold them for 6 months till they go out of print and run out and then sell those. So you get the sense that there are lots of different creative ways to buy, sell, trade, collect, and make money from your Magic cards. And all of these different ways kind of fall into two buckets, which is what we want to talk about today and kind of dive into, make sure we really understand investing and flipping. All right. So those are the two buckets, and everything that I just talked about and all the different ways that you can sell, buy, and make money from cards falls into those two buckets. So let's dive in. Investing, let's talk about investing first. Investing is the long-term play. In my mind, investing is 2+ years. If you buy something and you have zero intention to sell it for 2+ years, you are an investor and you are investing in Magic cards. Now, collecting is something different. I mean, I don't know, there can be kind of a blurred line where you buy a bunch of collector booster boxes because it'd be fun to own them and have them on a shelf. And then, your car breaks down and you sell those. It's like, well, were you an investor or were you just a collector who happens to have something worth money? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But if you're buying things, I would say with the intention of holding on to them to sell them eventually, but you're not going to sell them for years, like at least 2 years, then you are effectively an investor in Magic the Gathering. And so you could be an investor in all kinds of things. You could be an investor in vintage cards. You could be an investor in serialized cards, which I would not recommend, but you could do that. You could be an investor in sealed vintage product. You could be an investor in modern sealed play boxes. You could be an investor in modern collector booster boxes. So lots of options. You buy it, you hold on to it for years. There's a couple of things you got to worry about with investing. Because you're going to have it for years, you need to store it. And storage is a thing. I have seen really cool setups that people have where they have those giant kind of Costco or industrial racks that are on wheels, right? So all of your boxes are off of the ground and they are evenly distributed so that there isn't like weight. You're not crushing your bottom booster box with a bunch of ones on top, and everything's sorted nicely. And so people do this where they store what in their house in some kind of climate controlled area. Some people, I'm sure, have storage units and whatever they need to store booster boxes and whatever their investment is. So storage is something you've got to think about. Most people, I think a closet is good enough, right? You've got an extra closet in your house. You can make sure that things are stored properly and carefully, and then you're good to go. But some people, a closet's not enough. So storage, space can sometimes be a problem for people, but that's something you got to worry about with investing. And then liquidity, the ability to liquidate. Liquidating is what we're referring to as your ability to sell the stuff. People will compare, investing in Magic the Gathering to investing in stocks. And stocks have, for the most part, most of the stocks that you buy and sell, at least at the volumes that you and I would, have infinite liquidity, where it is infinitely easy to go and buy and sell a stock, right? At the market price, it will just sell instantly. It is not difficult to get the cash out of the stock. Magic can be a little different. And what I mean by that is, let me share my screen. And yeah, I was going to use these as good and bad examples for investing. But let's take a look at Lord of the Rings collector booster boxes. The original ones, not looking at the special holiday edition, but the original Lord of the Rings collector booster displays. This is an example of an incredible investment. If you did invest, right? If you bought these when they came out for $300, it has now been 3-4 years, and they're $1,200. They've effectively doubled, twice now. and that would be a great return. Even after shipping and fees, you would have made great money. So great investment. Now the problem, or at least one of the problems, if you held, like let's say you went wild and you bought, well, for simplicity's sake, let's say you bought 10 of these, right? 10 wouldn't, I mean, even 10. So 10, it's not a ton. That is a sealed case and a little over half a case. So just these two relatively small boxes. On screen, you can see my hands apart. It'd take up like this much space. And so space wouldn't really be a problem. You stick them in a closet, you hold on to them for 3-4 years, and boom, their price is quadruple what you paid for it. To sell those 10 on TCG Player in 1 month, we've sold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about, 20 in the past month. So you could list all 10 at the TCG low, and assuming that you didn't get undercut, you could sell your 10 in a couple weeks. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. But let's pretend that you have 100, right? Or 1,000. Then suddenly it's like, wait, how long is it going to take to sell? And what do you mean if nobody undercuts me? Because odds are a lot of these onesie twosie sellers on here, King Arthur Comics, who has 11 sales and is selling one for $1,200 plus 15 shipping, they probably are going to put theirs underneath yours because they probably want to sell this ASAP, and they only have a few sales, and so they need to price at low, right? At the kind of lowest price in the market. So you're not going to, you can't do the math and say like, oh, okay, 20 sold in the past month. I've got 20. It'll take 1 month. It'll take longer than that, odds are, unless for some reason demand goes up, which demand could go up with this Hobbit set that we're looking forward to, but besides the point. So liquidity is an issue. Like I said, if you have 100 of these, then what? The soonest you could get through all these is 5 months, selling just on TCG Player. Now, there's other ways, right? So you can contact a big store or kind of any store and be like, hey, would you buy these from me at 60% market? And I think most stores would be like, yeah, like you're going to sell me Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth collector booster displays for, what is $700? Like, yeah, we'll take that. And they would be happy to help you cash out. Now, you're obviously making way less than the full market price. Even if you sell a TCG Player at the full market price, you're still losing that 15%. So it's not like there's any way to get all of your value, unless I guess you're selling on Facebook Marketplace locally, which you can try to do. That's not actually a bad idea. Is you go on Facebook Marketplace, price this $100 less. You can save $50 on fees, something like that. But anyways, so there's ways to liquidate faster, but you're going to have to charge less than the full market price. And so that's the trade-off there, is you could sell these on your own over the course of a year. Maybe you could sell 100 and get close to full market price minus that kind of 15% shipping and fees. Or you could sell all at once to a store and, only make 60, 65, maybe 70% of the value, but you just get one check all at once. That'd be a great deal. So that is one of the issues. One of the struggles that isn't talked about is the liquidity, but it's important. And so we talked about this as a good example, Lord of the Rings. Let's talk about a bad example, because there's lots of bad examples. And obviously I'm cherry picking here. Like let's take a step back. Investing in sealed magic products is risky. It is a risky thing. This isn't Pokemon, unfortunately. We'd love for this to be, us finance bros wish that magic products acted like Pokemon products, but they don't. Because there's products like Theros Beyond Death. Theros Beyond Death, we can pull up the MTG Stocks kind of collector booster box of Theros Beyond Death, the price history. So back in 2020, boxes were selling for, at a high of 300, but really closer to 200, even dropping all the way to 150. Then we get a hop up to kind of 250. And today, on TCG Player, they're selling for about 300. So let's pretend that you got in at 200. Yes, there's some people who got in at 150, but that feels pretty, insane. So what is the return? It's been 6 years. What is the return of buying something for $200? You hold on to it for 6 years. You're able to sell it for $300, but after shipping and fees, you're actually only, you're losing 15%. So you're only making 85% of that. You're losing $45. So you get $255. Well, that is a 3%, well, maybe like 3.5% annual return. After shipping and fees, we are looking at less than, okay, maybe it's 4% to turn $200 into $253. You're looking at 4% annual return. It's not the worst ever. It's not negative, which is good. Now, if you bought these at 300, of course, your return would be negative after shipping and fees. And so maybe there's something to say that even this example that I pulled up is a bad investment. Now, there are lots of examples that are negative, but this is one that I was just pointing out is it would not feel good to get 4% over 6 years. The opportunity cost, you could have been buying Lord of the Rings, but your money was tied up in Theros Beyond Death. And so not all Magic products perform very well. What's going to happen for the future of Theros Beyond Death? I mean, my brother opened up one of these collector booster packs and it was dismal. And we even opened up one of the best hits, which was like the Idyllic Tutor. And it's like, man, these cards, I mean, it's just it's a regular booster pack, but every card is extended art. That's kind of what they were back then. And so, it's a dismal product. Maybe it will go up. I don't know. But I would just say that if I was an investor and I invested in this, it would be a feel bad. It's also interesting to point out that a lot of these gains, according to TCG Player, have just been in the past year. And I guess we kind of see that here too. That since Edge of Eternities is when the price hopped up from that 250 to 300. And so at 250, when we sell, we really don't make anything. And so it's really just been in the past, little bit, like out of 6 years, it's been the past year that these have jumped up. And that's another kind of testament too to the volatility and the trickiness of these things, where you could hold on to something for 5 years and be like, you know what, I gave it my time. I'm going to cash in, even though I'm going to kind of break even on 5 years of investment. Then you would lose out, because if you just waited one more year, that's when like all the potential for gain would have come from. Very interesting. Just wild thinking about the investing scene. Who's investing for? Is for people that have money and don't have time, because the alternative is flipping. And let's talk about flipping. Flipping is the short-term play. If you buy something and you sell it within 2 years, I'm considering you a flipper or a scalper, an evil scalper, just like me. No, it's kind of a joke. It's a meme. I think calling people a scalper is a meme. Obviously, we all hate the bozos that stand at Walmart and like push kids out of the way to grab Pokemon packs. Obviously, that's not good behavior. But, people use scalper all the time to just call someone a reseller a scalper, when resellers are providing a tremendous service to the market of helping get products and making them easily available to the people who want to buy them. And yes, sometimes that means that the price goes up, but if the price goes up, it's because people are paying for it. Anyway, sorry, I'm about to crash out. That's not what this video is about. All right. Flipping is short-term play. If you buy a collector booster box with the intention to sell it within 2 years, you're a flipper. If you are buying play boxes when they're in print because they're about to go out of print and you're going to take advantage of the price hike they'll probably come, you're a flipper. If you are buying people's collections with the intention to go on to TCG Player or eBay and sell them, you're a flipper. So it's good stuff. I love flipping, and flipping is powerful. It's really powerful for people like me who have some time, but not infinite money, right? Like if I had infinite money, I'd buy a storage unit and I would just buy cases of Magic products and I'd fill that thing up and it would feel so good. I don't. So instead, what I do is I buy sealed cases of commander decks, break them down, sell the singles, and I make money. And that feels great. It feels great to take $200 and turn it into $400, into $800, into $1,200 through kind of sweat equity, through my efforts and labor and work. And I'm packing envelopes. I am buying stamps. I am, putting cards inside of sleeves, inside of top loaders, inside of team bags, inside of a packing slip, inside of an envelope with a stamp on it, and shipping it out. But I'm making money. I'm making money faster than you could investing. Like, I'm able to turn $1,000 into $2,000 way faster than any investor, unless they could just get super lucky. Because when I'm able to buy a collection at 70% and sell it for market price, I'm able to net that 10, 15% and just pocket it quickly, like within a month, and these investments that are taking 2+ years, that takes time. But it's less effort, right? When you eventually get around to selling your investments, it's effort, but it's not effort in the meantime, not effort like it takes to flip. So, flipping is powerful. And let's take a look at a couple examples. Let's talk about a good example of flipping and a bad example of flipping. There's lots more examples, by the way. That'd be a fun video to make. It's just a ton of examples of good and bad flipping. But let's talk about a good flipping example. Bloomberg Play booster boxes. And you can see this in the chart, the historical chart in TCG Player in the past year. Because what happened to the price? Boxes were 130, 130, 130, 120, 140, 150. Suddenly 190, 200. This same thing happened for Final Fantasy Play. Similar thing happened for Edge of Eternity's Play. It just turns out, things kind of happening right now for Wilds of Eldraine set boxes and draft boxes, and supposedly there's going to be a reprint of those, by the way. At least other stores are talking about the reprint of Wilds of Eldraine draft and set booster boxes, and so those prices should come down, kind of like we see here. So what we're looking at for Bloomberg is kind of this round $140 price tag, and then boom, around December, around New Year's, shoots up to $200. People are paying, $170 to $200+ per play booster box, and then there's a big reprint. And guess where we're at? We're back around 140. And so I guess a couple thoughts. If you bought these, back in July for 130 each, and you sold around the 180 price point, you made good money. You flipped and you made good money. And that is awesome. The amount of foresight you'd have to make that investment and make that flip would I'm not sure how predictable it is. People might be doing it right now, right? Like right now, people are like, oh my gosh, these Bloomberg Play booster boxes were $200. Now they're 140. I'm going to buy a bunch of them because they're going to get back up to $200 soon. And that could be true, or it could take a long time. But anyway, so nothing's guaranteed, but it is quite cool that there's an opportunity to add value to the marketplace by being a consumer today when the price is low, and then being a supplier tomorrow when the price is high, and helping people get the booster boxes they want later when there's less available on the market. So anyways, now I'm talking in my code for why scalpers is a bad adjective. But anyways, let's talk about a bad example of flipping. Spider-Man. So after Final Fantasy was a great flip. That could have been a good example of a good flip. And it might be a good investment too. We'll see. But after Final Fantasy, people saw a $600 booster box turn into a $1,200 booster box in the span of a month. People assumed something similar would happen with Spider-Man. But what you see here is this really interesting historical chart where some people did some confirmed sales around $900 for Spider-Man collector booster boxes. And those were pre-orders before the set came out. And people believed that the price was going to be higher or at this price when release day came. A lot of people bought around here, around $500 per collector booster box. But as you see, the price over time went lower and lower and lower and lower, and it's kind of stabilized now around 340. Now, if you bought these around release time, it was closer to $400, was like the best price you could get. If you were working with, if you're buying from Rudy or from, some kind of Patreon program, because market price was like 500. And so it's like, oh, you're getting a great deal. Buy this for 400. And it's like, yeah, sure. Sweet. Great deal. But boom, if you held on to these to flip, the price just went down. And that's the thing, is that there's no opportunity to flip if the price just goes down. You just lose money no matter what. And that's what's happened for flippers with Marvel Spider-Man. So there's a risk. Did I think this would happen? No, I didn't. I mean, I don't know. These booster boxes are weird. Rudy talks about this too, but the fact that there's like a whatever infinitely expensive card. Yeah, just a cool, $30,000 card in this booster box. I guess there's only been one sold on TCG Player ever. But this Soul Stone, the fact that it's in there, but the booster box is like $300 is like very interesting. Cardinal Gaming talked about this with Final Fantasy. Just the fact you can open up a golden chocobo that's $50,000, but the booster box is only $1,000 is just interesting. Because like I've talked about in other videos, there's a lot of collector products that don't have any valuable cards in them, but they're many multiples more expensive than they were a year ago. So very interesting. It's hard. I'm still working on kind of my theory of everything to explain why some products are better for flipping or investing, for holding for just a year and flipping, while others just don't do well. Like Spider-Man hasn't done well so far. And who knows? Maybe the flippers with Spider-Man will come out ahead. Maybe the price will double and triple before the end of 2026. Because like I said, kind of the time frame for flipping, 1 to 2 years, or up to 2 years, right? So you could flip in just a month, but you could flip within 18 months. I consider myself a flipper with basically everything I do, including like buying Final Fantasy collector booster boxes. And yes, I've held on to them for 7 months now, but it's very much flipping. Like I'm waiting for the price to get to the price I want, and then boom, they're gone, and I have flipped. It's not an investment. I'm not trying to hold on to these for 5, 10, 15 years. It's a flip. And so, flippers still got time when it comes to Spider-Man. Unfortunately, a lot of people though are tight on cash. And so when they're not able to flip within a couple months and make it positive, that's a problem. And that's something I'd like to warn against, I guess, at the end of this. For both investing and flipping, you need to do what is inside of your budgetary means, right? And what I mean by that is, for investing, this money needs to not exist. Like for the investment to work, you need to hold on to it for at least 2 years. So if you want to invest, $5,000 in the Hobbit collector booster boxes that are going to come out later this year, you need to be able to live without that $5,000 for the next 2+ years. And if you've got that, and if that's okay, if there's like no chance that you're going to need that $5,000, then you're good to go. Buy those collector booster boxes, invest. Maybe it'd be more responsible to put it into the stock market or 401k or something like that, but whatever. Another video will be about that. If you're a flipper, you need to just be careful. I mean, how confident can you be that these booster boxes are going to go up or go down or sideways or whatever, right? And so if you're there's some flipping investments, sounds like I'm cussing, but there's some opportunities to flip where the risk is really low. If you're buying someone's collection at 70% and they're cards people play with, the odds of you losing money on that are so low. You'll at least break even, and that's only if things go really bad, but odds are you're going to make money. If you're buying though sealed collector booster boxes of TMNT and hoping that they go up within a couple months after release, it's just risky. It's just a risky thing. Especially TMNT, we all knew that set wasn't going to have incredible demand going into it. Now, something like Marvel Superheroes that's coming out this summer, I think there's going to be a tremendous flipping opportunity there. I think that anybody who's able to get a hold of those below market price is going to be able to sell those and make money basically instantly. I believe that. We'll see, right? I could totally be wrong. And I'm not going to put more money than I'm comfortable losing into Marvel Superheroes collector booster boxes because I just don't know. I can't be too confident. So be careful out there. Money matters. Be very careful with your money. That's all. But before I go, hey, my name's Nick. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Trying to get to 500 subscribers. Got past that 250, which feels so good, incredible. If you've got questions for me or just want to say hi, my email's below. You can reach out. And also, I've got a store link below. So if you want magic cards from me, you can buy them. Anyways, thanks all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.